Hello, this is Dale Cummins with Cummins Architecture and Design. Today we want to go over a few more items regarding your project and how to perform your project successfully. This session is called Heading Off Project Pitfalls, which is a really good thing. The more we can tell you about what to avoid, the easier the process will be and the more confident you will be with your project. Some of the first things to consider are the existing conditions related to your particular project, especially if you're going to do an addition on your home. One thing to look for, and it comes up quite often on some of the projects we do locally on the older homes, is a lot of times a portion of the house may not have a permit. So it's important for us to figure out, number one, are we going to be able to upgrade that and turn that into a legal permitted space, or do we need to tear that down and get it out of our way before we do the addition? Very important to look at that carefully. Sometimes it's not clear. Usually we start out with the permits that are on record at the city or county planning department, because they keep a copy of all of the submitted applications and permits for construction over the years for the properties. They don't usually keep the drawings themselves, but they keep the permits. And they're microfilmed or somehow, anyway, they're available. So all existing square footage needs to be permitted, and if it's not, we need to figure out what to do with it. That's one of the first steps. We usually determine that early on in the project when we're doing an as-built site dimension layout, and we'll make sure that the square footage that's in the permitted records is equal to the square footage that you actually have on site. If not, we'll make arrangements to adjust that. All existing utilities are very important to be in good working order or an understanding of what might need to be changed to upgrade it for any improvements. Also, you want to verify the existing lot size and coverage. In many areas, the lot coverage varies per lot or per zone that the property is in. We talked about that earlier, but something to look at when you're considering the first stages of your project. An addition needs to be in scale with the rest of the house. This is very important. Also, it's very important when we're doing an addition to make sure that the roof structure and layout is complementary to the existing house. Everyone's seen those additions with the flat roofs on the back of the house or the side of the house, and they just don't complement the project, and they're not in your best interest. They look like, I guess, tack-ons is what you could say. Changes in the layout. While you're working on a project, it's very important to understand that you need natural lighting in all occupied rooms. A lot of times when people want to add to the back of their house, they'll have things like the kitchen will be in an area that maybe will lose its natural light because the windows are only on the back wall for some reason. We can take a look at that. We can help reconfigure that so that we can either get light from a sidewall or adjust the location of the kitchen. But natural lighting is required. It's part of the basic California Building Code requirements, and it is basically based on the square footage of the space. Sometimes we can supplement the natural lighting requirements with skylights and things like that. So depending upon your particular project, we'll take a look at that. Another thing that's very important are the city codes and requirements, and it's for your own interest and for the proper application of any insurance programs that you might have on your property. Heaven forbid there might be a fire or something like that. And if it's an unpermitted property, you're going to have a major issue with your insurance company. They may or may not cover it. That's kind of a specialty case, but if you do the project properly, you get the right permits, you will be in good shape. Plus, you'll also have a project inspected during construction, so you can have peace of mind that the wiring, the insulation, the plumbing is put in properly. I could tell you lots of nightmares of things we've seen that in the past have been done without permitting, and they tend to lead to problems. Generally speaking, it's pretty easy to fix. But we need to be aware of it early on in the project to make sure we take care of that. So some of the other basic things to think about, and you may or may not have this already, but are carbon detectors, smoke detectors in the home. Each bedroom is supposed to have a smoke detector, each hallway, and there's required to be a carbon monoxide detector in the house in addition to the smoke detectors. You can actually buy those now in combination. And some people may be wondering why, there's both carbon and smoke detector. Well, that's to meet that requirement. But not every bedroom is required to have that. You're just required to have one in residence. Earthquake strapping for the water heater. These are the kinds of things that come up a lot of times when somebody's selling a home. So if you know about it in advance, you can make sure that that's taken care of. It also is something that comes up almost every time on a remodel or addition with plan check or the inspector when he's in the field. So another thing to keep in mind, and we've seen this lots of different ways, is that you don't want to take a wall out on the inside of your house, particularly if it happens to be holding up the roof, unless you have first verified that those loads have been distributed elsewhere through the use of a beam and columns and supports, and also that the lateral forces, say, of an earthquake, which come from any angle virtually, have been addressed. So that's basically a lateral analysis. So if you're ever working with any walls on the interior of your home and you think it may have a bearing, maybe a bearing wall, which typically you'll notice that because it'll have a foundation underneath it, or it'll be have plywood on one side, or it just may be obvious that there's beams coming across and supported on the top of it. In those cases, you really need to get a structural or architect involved with that to make sure that we can analyze it properly and make sure that you're not adversely affecting the structure of your home. Just keep in mind that a tile roof on a home typically weighs about 10 pounds a square foot just for the tile. So the overall, every square foot is about 15 pounds. So for a home with about, let's say 1,500 square feet, that represents 15,000 pounds, which represents roughly, I'm going to guess, maybe 7 or 8 Volkswagens on your roof. So it's very important that you have enough structural integrity when the ground starts shaking to keep those loads from coming down. California building codes have continued to improve over the years to make sure that that is handled well. But it's also important for the room layout and for the appearance of the outside of the house that you consider not only where the windows are inside the rooms, but how they're going to be arranged so that they look attractive and are proportional on the outside. So we design both from the inside and the outside. Now, another thing to help in terms of an addition and rooms and spaces, it's very important that when you build an addition on your home, that the new rooms are generally in scale and proportion to the rooms of the existing home. Now, we can push the square footage on the master bedroom, that's fairly normal, but you don't, for example, want to have, let's say, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house where 2 of the bedrooms are 10 by 11 and the master is 20 by 20. It just doesn't look right. It just is out of scale and doesn't work well. So the scale is very important, and in fact, the use, size, and layout of the space is actually more important than the size itself. It's how it's laid out and how it's developed proportionally. While you're working on the addition and the layout early in the project, it's helpful to get those things down on paper, and in some cases to scale, get your furniture, even your furniture, we can put in there. We can also generate some color renderings, 3-dimensional renderings, and even walkthroughs in 3-dimension that represent pretty much exactly what you're going to get when the project's complete. So that's kind of fun. We like to do that. You can talk to us about that when you move forward with your project. So thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you soon, and please send in your questions, and you can contact us at CummonsArchitecture.com on our website.